and welcome to the Real Women of Boxing. Today's special guest is Mary Merciless McGee. How you doing, Mary?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Nice to see you.
Nice to see you too.
So, how is life treating you, my friend? Long time.
Life been pretty good. I just been kind of getting myself back in the groove of things, shall I say, after my last fight.
Let me give a little bit of a background as to who you are, if some people don't know. You are the former IBF super lightweight champion of the world. You fought Chantel Cameron in 2021 for the IBF, WBC and Ring Magazine belts in the Road to Undisputed tournament. Unfortunately, Chantel Cameron got the win. Well, not unfortunately, but you know what I mean.
Unfortunately, I lost. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, I was trying to.
That's what you meant to say. I got it.
I was trying to kind of be positive.
Yeah, I got it.
But anyway, you gave a really excellent account of yourself. Since the dust has settled, have you learned anything about yourself, after that performance?
I like how you put that, since the dust has settled. Because the dust has settled. Okay. So what I really learned about myself is 140 is probably never going to see me again. Because
girl, bye.
I'm serious. I don't know if me and that weight class will ever meet each other again. So I learned that about myself. That's one. And I learned that I'm one. Can we cuss on here?
Oh, you can say what you want, darling.
I'm one tough bitch.
You are, darling.
That's what I learned about myself. Like, I can go through whatever, do whatever, whenever, however. That's what I learned.
You know what? I'm glad you've learned that about yourself, because I was going to say, have you had a chance to have a little look back at the fight? Because I know it's really difficult.
I looked at it a few times.
Yeah, but it's difficult, isn't it? In terms of, so you look at it from a negative point of view of what I should and shouldn't have done when you first have a look. And then...
Well, for me, okay, it's been 6 months. About 6 months, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you never really hear me talk about the fight. Mm-hmm. Or you never really hear me make too much account about it, because when you are on the losing end, people don't want to hear much or nothing you got to say, because everything they think you got to say is an excuse.
True.
So sometimes I just kept my mouth closed. But when I do look back at the fight, I sometimes do think of like, if I would have did this different or this different. But I'm gonna tell you the truth, like, and I won my belt at the end of 2019. December 5th, 2019 is when I won my world title. I defended it at the beginning of February, and then right after that, the world was shut down.
Mm.
So when the world was shut down, I'm sitting out for 18, almost 20 months, no fight. I ain't got no team that's locked behind me like Chantel does to give me fights on the pandemic. We got letters in the mail saying that there will be no fights, all of these different things, and we just had to accept it. So I ended up getting injured and tearing my MCL in my knee. And by me having to be forced to sit out almost 2 years, I needed the money.
Yeah.
So I took that fight because in a way I felt like I'm going to tell you the truth, the tournament thing to me is silly. I'm a world champion. You fight me for my title. If I lose my title, I should be given a rematch. Period. All this tournament, because what happened to the tournament after I fought? Yeah. So it was like, I felt like 18 months or so. I got a son I got to feed. This was the only way I was making money. And I had to fight Chantel Cameron. I ain't scared of nobody. So it was like, when they asked me, I'm like, I could beat Chantel, but I didn't realize how hard, after sitting out that long, it was going to be to lose fucking weight. Yeah. And that's not for me to make no excuses. I'm being honest. I'm a world champion that sat out almost 2 years and had to turn around and lose like 30 pounds. And some people say, well, you should stay in shape. I had to work a job because I have to feed my kid. You know what I'm saying? And not saying I didn't stay in shape, but I can't train full time like some of these girls because everything's paid for them. And the way I was making money was in the ring. So I was given an opportunity to fight on DAZN. The way it came, I thought that I had enough time. So not to make no excuses about that, I thought I had enough time, even with the knee injury, to get ready. Now, this the problem. This is the reason why I really, like, I don't give Chantel the props that people probably think I should, because she pushed me down in the fight. And I feel like if I'm noble enough to show up in your home country, in your land, and face you for my title, at least give me a fair fight, sis. You knew my knee was injured. You knew that. So I felt like it was a plan. Let me test her knee out. So I don't respect it. You feel me? And it's like when I sat back and had time to think about it, she didn't fight the best me. So, I mean, and do I want to fight her again? No, I don't care about her. I don't care about fighting her. I don't care about the title no more. I'm moving on and I'm moving up.
I'm going to be honest. So first and foremost, one of the things you're always going to get is criticism about whether you're stay in shape, aren't in shape. And unless you're a fighter, they need to just, shut the hell up, to be fair, because they don't know what it's like. So that's the first thing. And I understand when you're, at the top of the tree, everybody's got something to say. In terms of, I hear what you're saying in terms of, how you feel that the fight went, etc. But knowing the Chantel that I know, I don't think that was something that was done purposefully. I'm not in your...
I do, because I study Chantel, and I can pick several fights that she pushed the fighter down in.
Do you not
and matter of fact, I'm good at making videos. I'll put the clips together of her doing it.
Okay. What, like an evidence clip?
I can do that. I will go back. Because of course, if I'm fighting an opponent and we at the top of the sport, she was number 1 in the world at the time, I'm number 2. And we're at the top of the sport, we're getting ready to fight, I'm studying you. So I noticed that she had that habit of pushing fighters down in other fights. Now, somebody would say, oh, don't be a crybaby, whatever. No, I'm not. It is what it is. Sis won the fight. But don't expect me to up it. I'm not. I felt like if you would have pushed me and then my knee would have got injured again, you fucked my whole career. And I'm supposed to be, Chantel. Never.
I mean, I can understand why you...
One thing you gonna know, you ain't never heard nobody say Mary McGee was a dirty fighter or did dirty things in the ring. I don't believe in that. If I'm gonna beat you, I'm gonna beat you fair and square. Simple as that. And I'm not saying like she cheated the whole fight, but after she pushed me, that was a 2-month-old knee injury that hurt. Period. So when she did it, I told my coach, I said, yeah, it's bothering me a little bit. But I'm such a dog. I'm such a goon. I zoned that out. You know what I'm saying? Oh, well, we gonna fight. So, yeah, I couldn't keep up with you because I'm trying to keep up with you on a leg that's not allowing me to, bro. Like, and it's like, I guess the reason why I got kind of depressed and upset about it, because it was like everything was playing against me. And not that it was somebody else's fault. We went through a pandemic. I had a knee injury. I needed the money. I took it. Hey, gotta live with the consequences.
First thing is, some people will believe in that you do whatever it takes to win a fight. Okay,
you do. But
so hold on, just 1 second. So for me, if that is the mentality, and I don't know what was said in the corner, I don't know, but if that's the mentality, I would advise my fighter is like, you've just got to work, you've got to find a way to outdo this person. There's no point in trying to like go, well, they're doing this, so therefore. I understand why it would piss you off if that's what you think. However, it's the case you've got to find a way. There's always going to be someone that's going to drag you into a dogfight. But didn't I
do that though? Listen.
Hey, listen. I thought you were exceptional.
Exactly. What I'm telling you is, these aren't considered excuses because it's 6 months later and I don't give a fuck no more. You feel me?
Yeah,
I don't.
Yeah.
I'm just talking about it because you want to talk about it.
Yeah, clear.
I don't give a fuck about her or the fight no more. I'm telling you the truth.
Yeah.
I'm just telling you, we talking about the fight, so I'm telling you how I feel.
What
I'm saying is, after she did it and I got back up, I still fought with all my life in me. You feel me? I didn't say, oh, my knees hurt. You didn't see me pause and say,
yeah.
I didn't do none of that. I'm just, what I'm saying is, you're right. You do everything to win. But when you have these big epic events with another dance partner, you would like to be able to, for that person to say, that was a great fight, and be able to have interviews and talk great things about you after the fight, I would think. I was the hardest fight she ever had.
She said that, though. She did say that.
Exactly, and I don't have nothing to say about it.
She did say that you were the hardest fight.
I know I was.
And
she was leaving.
I'm gonna be honest. She was actually quite. I was there. She was quite. What's the word? Complimentary. So it's not
Yeah,
like
afterwards.
all before a fight you got to try and stir the pot with each other, you try and get under each other's skin. That's part of the game, whether we like it, don't like it. I'm talking about after the fight. She respects you. From what she was saying, I don't know in the quiet at home, whatever she thinks, but I'm saying I was there at the press conference and you came up, obviously, and there was like massive, honestly, Mary, there was massive respect for you. So here's the thing. What I will say is that's what you've learned. Now, as hard as it is to perform, to me, that's the thing that you learn in that fight. That if you can do that after coming off a pandemic, after being laid out for...
And losing 13.5 pounds.
You understand? But this is, to me, that is... Don't get me wrong. I get why you're upset why you didn't win, right? We don't go into a fight...
I ain't even upset that I didn't win either. I was depressed because... How do I say? Like, because I don't want it to seem like I'm taking away from her because I don't care. I'm not. I got depressed because it felt like all of my like when I got there, I didn't know that y'all had a weight limit when you get there the week of. You have to be a certain weight. I didn't know that. And people say my manager should have told me or I should have knew in the contract. It was not in the contract. I just didn't know it. Simple as that. I didn't know it. Whatever. I learned that lesson the hard way that you have to be within a certain weight limit when you get there because they're going to check your weight days before the weigh-in. Yeah. So I had tried to make weight for like 3 or 4 days the whole time I was there.
Let me put this to you. You're preparing for a fight. Obviously, there's, you're trying to put your head into that.
Mm-hmm.
Is there any responsibility that falls on your trainers for not having that information
and
for not passing that on to you?
It's some changes to my camp, shall I say, this time, for my next time around. And it's just some changes that was made. And I mean, it was a fight that I could have won. And that was another reason it depressed me because it's no way you can lose 13.5 pounds and then perform the way you should the very next day. It's impossible. I learned that was my first and last time ever doing that. And I'm never doing it again. Like I literally passed out in the hallway on my way to my room when we was going to the weigh-in and my coach picked me up and carried me to the room.
So here's the thing. Do you feel like you had no option but to take that fight? Do you think
when you listen to me? When you broke and you got a kid that needs to eat and need to be fed, and you dedicated your entire life to something, and somebody offer you more money than you ever had before, yeah, you'll feel like you got to take it.
Do you think it would have been difficult for you to have got another type of shot like that with that type of money if you were to turn down the Chantel Cameron fight?
Yeah, I do. Yeah. And I deep down in my heart believe I was going to beat Chantel. I deep down in my soul believe it. I deep down in my soul know she know if some of them things that I had going on with me wasn't going on, because she know. Because when you fighting somebody, you know what type of fight you was in. She know I would have beat her too.
You've talked about you've changed your team. Has there been times, though, that you've sat in those quiet times and thought, oh, man, these people really didn't know what they were supposed to be doing? Or, were you piecing together the things that were out of your hands? Because realistically, you should just be training and trying to make weight. Are there moments that you now think, God damn, these people should have known that. These people should have known this.
No, because sometimes they learning on the job too. You can't blame everybody. Everything that happened is ordained to happen however it happens. I took a chance. No risk, no reward. So I took a chance. I had a title. I'm not here to hold titles to my hips or around my arms like they bracelets. I want to fight. So Chantel was considered the best. They told me I could take the fight. I figured injury or not, I could beat her. So I came. And I had just injured the knee in August when I canceled my fight with the girl she's finna fight now. what's
I
her
can't
name?
remember her
Victoria.
name. Yeah.
I canceled that fight because I couldn't walk when I was supposed to fight her. So I would have fought her injured too. I tried because the knee was injured 2 weeks before I even announced it. I was limping for 2 weeks and I said, I just can't walk straight. So if I could have walked straight, I'd have fought her too.
You said that there's been a change in camp. What does that look like? Does that look like a new trainer,
Yeah, I
trainers?
got a new trainer. And the last coach I had is a great coach, but it's just different techniques. So I got this other trainer that's been showing me just some new technique.
Right.
And that would have, like, it's little things I could have done that would have helped me in that fight, even in the condition I was in, shall
Absolutely.
I say. If I would have been able to do that or this a little bit better, it would have helped me even in my condition. That also contributed to my depression. So that's why when I said I was depressed, it was a lot more than just losing a fight. Me and my coach was together for 15 years. So when I had to have this conversation with him, it wasn't that I wanted to get rid of him. I wanted to add somebody to the team. And that made me and him kind of get into it. So for a few months, I was going back and forth with that, with who gonna train me, things of that nature. So that's kind of why, like, I've been kind of sitting out because it was like, I'm fighting the same, obviously. So people figuring out, oh, if we box her or we move on her, then we can beat her. Nah, that ain't finna keep happening. So let me readdress this and have somebody that can help me. Not that I want to be a fancy boxer, but I want to figure some things out how I can beat y'all. So,
and I say this with the greatest respect to your coach. I don't know him, but I know from a coach's point of view, sometimes a coach can only take you so far. A trainer can only take you so far. And so it really is down to what's best for the fighter. And sometimes you just have to step aside. Even though your ego gets slightly bruised, you'd be inhuman if that didn't happen.
And that's kind of what happened because I love my coach. And now we've been able to come back and talk with each other and be friends. You know what I'm saying? But at the time we wasn't. So it made it hard for me to even want to be in the gym. It was a lot. I lost my title. I lost my fight on national TV. I came home. I was embarrassed. I had lost all that weight. I kind of went through PTSD after that fight because losing that weight and the way I lost that weight, like for like a month, I didn't want nothing to do with no hot water and no tub. I don't want nothing to do with no hot water and no tub. That's how I felt.
Until somebody dragged you and said, "Now, listen, it's time to see that."
No,
water.
I was washing my ass, but I ain't want nothing. Girl, I will never in my life do that again. That's why I said I'm just gonna go up in weight and fight at a higher weight class because I was making like 150 and 149 easy without trying. So I'm like, I can fight at 47.
You know, this is a massive thing. It's a life-changing thing to be a world champion, not just for the belt, the prestige, but the money as well. I've heard you say that, you know, this is your job. This is your life. This is everything. Mm-hmm. Was that part of it that you felt like that maybe life has kind of ended as you know it?
Yes and no. The reason I say yes and no, because I'll be lying if I completely was like, hell no, I don't care. Who don't care? But, you know, I've been boxing for like 22 years. So it was a point in my life where I was 17-0. Everybody loved me. I had a WBC interim title, another title, and then I fell off. So I've had times where I've been up and down, up and down. You understand? One time I left, had a baby, came back, and then I won that world title. So it was more so for me, I'm going to be honest with you, I feel like I thought I did everything right, and I still failed. I think that's what it was. I felt like I did everything right this time, and I still failed.
So I feel like we don't sometimes get the
Black girls.
I feel sometimes that black girls don't get the opportunities, and there's always a drama when you say something like that.
Okay, I'm gonna say this then. Thank you. Now, Ebony Bridges. I love Ebony. I love her, but Ebony, she's funny, she's quirky, she's pretty. I'm all those same things, but I'm black. Ebony's white, and more people are, I guess, attracted to whiter girls than black girls, I guess. I don't know. So it makes me wonder because Ebony came up years after me. So we just using status. We just using, You feel what I'm trying to say?
Carry on.
I'm using this as a status quo. I've been boxing 22 years, and I don't know how long she's been boxing, but it just seems that way. And I don't know if it's just that because white people support white people, and those type of people support each other more than our people do. I don't know.
The depression creeps up.
Yeah.
And I think it feels to me, Mary, that this was such a massive thing for you because it doesn't come along often enough for us. And I don't care. People always want to talk about, well, you start, you call it the race card. But it's just a fact. It's just a fact. And so I wondered whether, this loss was such a massive deal to you because of that, because of the lack of opportunities. And it's not to do with ability, but it's the lack of opportunities.
You just really answered the question that I've had. So, you're right. I didn't ever think about it like that, but you know what? You are right. Because I spent so many years scratching and scraping for that opportunity. And then it was like, it's here, and I dropped the ball.
But I don't even think it's about dropping the ball, okay? So, and it's not an excuse. So you prepare for these situations, and sometimes you just not fully prepared. It just is what it is. You don't have the experience. You've got the talent, but you don't have the experience. So firstly, what I want to say is, before anyone starts fucking moaning, the thing about Ebony Bridges, we cannot compare ourselves because it just is what it is, right? That's the first thing. It is.
I know I'm not doing that by far.
No, I'm just saying we can't compare, but she's on her path and you're on yours. This is specifically about black girls or black people, right? So you get given an opportunity. It feels like for us, the pressure is even double. Would I be correct in thinking that?
Yeah.
You understand me? And so it's not just about, the preparation for the fight. It's not just about that. It's about this opportunity has to manifest into something else. It's got to. And especially when you've been 22 years in the game. But what I will say, Mary, is, and I know it sounds, you're a Christian woman, and there are times where you think, why is it taking so long? Why? What have I done I'm trying my best. I'm working hard. I'm committed. Why is it not manifesting into something bigger? Why is it not showing up in my life as something?
I hate talking about boxing.
Bigger and better. So here's the thing. Have you always been this? Because I feel that you are one determined. I was going to say MF, but then I remembered we were on camera.
You said we could cuss.
Well, not that badly.
Oh.
No, I'm joking.
All right, go ahead. Go.
So I feel, Mary, that sometimes things are out of our hands in terms of it's just how the system is sometimes. Mm-hmm. And that's a deeper conversation for another day.
Okay, so do I still want to box? Like, do I still want to keep giving you guys the opportunity to use me? Like, maybe I just say, fuck it. Those thoughts go through your head, and that's the depressing part, because it's like you put all this effort in and you feel like, well, 20-something years. Hell, I'm 27-4 now. I've never been beat. I lose fights. You can't never find a fight where it's like I was destroyed. It don't happen. So I lose. It's 27-4. Why can't I be signed to a big team while I'm making money? It's like, that last fight was the last money that I made in boxing. So it's like now I'm sitting out 6 months waiting for what? What am I waiting on? Somebody to call me and offer me an opportunity to fight? No.
Well, this is the thing. I would have thought that you would have been offered an
Nothing.
opportunity
Nothing.
because you gave such a good account of yourself.
Nothing. And then when they're ready for you, they expect you to be in top shape. I have a child. I have to work full time. Sorry.
So people like Ebony, people like whoever, they're always, you know, of course they're going to take.
She's blessed.
They're gonna take the opportunities if they're offered. Let's, do you know what I mean? Let's be fair.
I mean, because we speaking of her, she's probably making enough money to where she can do that. That makes sense.
Yeah. Oh, yes, and I hear you.
Yeah, you making enough money or sponsorships now because you got the promotion, you have the following now. You know, things are just happening in a good way for her, and therefore you can do that because all you do is box.
What would you say to people that say, well, she's worked hard, she's come away from Australia and moved to the UK, surely you're not doing something right?
What would I say to them?
Yeah.
Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. Simple as that. The path God lined up for her isn't the same path he lined up for me. Regardless of whether you like somebody's pathway or not, or regardless of how you feel about it or not, everybody's path is different. So that's what it is. Her pathway is different. But it would leave for another fighter that is trying or fighting hard to question themselves if I should continue this. I'm not making a living here. You see what I'm saying?
100%.
And then some people, they can take it how they want. Yeah, if I'm in a sport with somebody, I'm going to compare certain things to see if it's profitable for me. You know what I'm saying? So that's what it be. It don't be like jealousy or nothing like that. I just be needing to know because regardless, I'm gonna be good in life.
So the thing is also, each fight you should be, your wages should be going up. And then when you get a world title fight and win it, the wages should go up again. And if, from what I'm hearing, you say, and I've heard it in the background about other fighters as well, that's not always the case. You know, people will still try and offer you the minimal amount.
For women boxing, yeah.
Absolutely. You know, so that knowing that you'll probably take it. And I think that's why a lot of people now are starting to say no.
Yeah.
I want to take it back a little bit. You were born in Gary, Indiana.
Yeah.
Tell me what the young Mary McGee was like. Were you always like a really determined young lady?
Yeah. I was a cheerleader originally, and it was this boy that I was attracted to. So he was like, I'm finna go to boxing practice. And I'm like, man, ain't no boxing practice in Gary. He was like, yes, it is. We got a boxing gym out here. I'm like, I want to go. So I snuck from the school because we were supposed to be having a basketball game. And I snuck in my cheerleading uniform down the street with him to the boxing gym. So when I walk in the boxing gym, I'm like 13 and a half, almost 14. I was like, oh my God. I was like, this is real. Like, this is a boxing gym. I'm like, this is crazy. Because I was thinking of like the Rocky movies and shit. And then it was a room full of guys. So I was like into boys at this age. So I'm like, yay, so I walked up to the coach and I was like, I want to box. And he didn't want me there. He like, I don't want no girls in my gym. And I'm like, he couldn't put me out though because it was like a non-for-profit.
Yes.
So I started training there. And he wouldn't train me because he didn't want girls in his gym. So 3 days after I was there, he put me in the ring and got me beat up. He got me beat up bad. And my nose was bleeding a little bit, lip busted. So he thought that was going to make me not come back. It rose my competitive side. Yeah. Like, yeah, I was training to beat them up. Like, I'm going to get in shape so I could beat them up for beating me up like that. So I had kept training or whatever, and then I kept going. So after he never trained me still, like they wouldn't show me stuff. So what I would do is like when people would be in the ring shadow boxing like that was good, I would look at them and be like, okay, you got to do it like this. So I would watch them and practice, and I would come home and I would practice for hours by myself. So 9 months after I was there, he put me in a tournament. It was in Indianapolis. I had to fight Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. He didn't even know I could fight. So he got me signed up. It was 3 girls there in my weight class, and I beat all 3 of them. And that's when he was like, "Oh, you can fight for real." I'm like, "Yeah, try to tell you." So then, after that, went on. Now, they love me in the gym, but my grandmother, like I had got about 16, and I started making a newspaper because I was winning like the Chicago Golden Gloves. I was just doing good. So my grandmother was Jehovah's Witness, and I remember one day we was at the church, the Kingdom Hall, and she came outside. She was taking so long. I'm like, "What took you so long?" She was like, "You." I said, "What I do?" I was outside waiting on you. She said, "You in that boxing." I said, "What boxing got to do with it?" She was like, "They said that you can't live in my house and box because it's promoting violence." So for a year, I snuck around and still boxed anyway. And she didn't know about it. And then I ended up fighting this girl in Indianapolis that I had the rematch, and they had it on local TV a year later. And my auntie saw it and told my grandma about it. And my grandma put me out at 17 years old. Well, she wasn't gonna put me out. She told me I had to make a decision. She was like, I told you can't let him box. She was like, either you gonna decide to stop today or you can't stay here no more. And I remember this like it was yesterday. I was laying in my bed looking up at this poster I had on the ceiling. And I was thinking to myself, I was like, I don't want to look on TV one day and be like, man, that could have been me. I at least want to try. I was like, I think I'm good at this. And I moved out.
Did that ruin your relationship with your grandmother?
Nope. It actually made it stronger a little bit because my grandma, at first, it did, like, I had to be the distance in the beginning. But then we started back dealing with each other. I had lived in my car for a little bit, and my grandma ended up helping me get a brand new car because she kind of knew but didn't want to say nothing. And then she said, I remember she said one time, I don't care what it is. If Mary really want to do it and put her man to it, it's going to get done. Like, I'm the first and only female world champion from my city.
Wow.
Like, I didn't have nobody to look up to do this. I just did it. And when I started 20 plus years ago, women boxing was like a sideshow to people.
To live in a car, the dream must have been so, tangible.
Yeah.
That's
I
crazy.
always knew I was going to be a world champion. I always knew that. Boxing came to me easily, and I built it from the ground up. I didn't have, when I fought, like fighters like Katie Taylor, Chantel, they had the backing of their family and support. When I fought as an amateur, nobody in my family ever saw me fight. I was by myself.
Why was that? Was that because they weren't interested, or was it because
Yeah,
they couldn't afford to go, or what was that about?
they wasn't interested. They just never came.
Wow.
My city, the same thing. Like, I used to couldn't sell tickets, and now I can sell a arena out here because it was like women boxing. People didn't care, and I built it from the ground up, literally.
So now I understand that when the opportunity came, like this massive, fight in the undisputed, how much that meant to you, having gone through what you've been through. Do you know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah.
What was?
I think they knew that too. That's why, it wasn't any concern for, well, we can set the tournament for a later date if you're injured. It was like, I need to defend my title, and you haven't defended your title in this amount of time, so you need to fight Chantel, and woo. And it was like, I couldn't defend my title. It was a pandemic.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was kind of like that. So it was like, hey, I'm not gonna vacate shit. You're gonna have to fight me for it.
You're gonna have to rip it from my hands.
Yeah. Oh well.
And what's it like to grow up in the religion, the Jehovah's Witness religion?
It give you good qualities as a person. I'll say that. Like, it gave me some pretty good qualities, but it was pretty strict. They tried to take boxing away from me, and I ain't let that happen.
Are you still a Jehovah's Witness?
No, I'm not religious at all. I believe in God.
Yeah.
Religion is made to separate people. Religious leaders killed Jesus. Think about it. Muslim, Catholic, Baptist, Jehovahs Witness. I can have a friend in any one of them religions. But some people won't be my friend just because I don't believe it. You know? Or I don't believe the rules.
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you.
Yeah, and that's like I remember I used to be told you can't hang out with worldly people. Well, we in the world. What do you mean? And I'm a friendly person, so I don't do religion.
So in terms of what's it called, disfellowship, did your family stop speaking to you because you boxed, or?
Mm-mm. I wasn't a baptized Jehovah's Witness, so I wasn't disfellowshipped. You get disfellowship, I guess, when you really baptized into the religion, and I never did that.
I mean, I find that fascinating that at such a young age that you have decided that, you know what, this is what I want to do, and to have that drive and commitment. I find that fascinating, Mary.
Yeah, I did. I was young, and I said, and people told me then women boxers don't make no money. I didn't care. I remember it was times where after my promoter died, they got me to 17-0. And it was like 2 years went by where I couldn't get a fight. It was like before I fought Holly and Erica and all those girls. And I remember crying in my car, like, to my pastor's wife. And I was saying, like, I just want to fight. I don't care. I'll fight for free. Like, I just want to box. Why won't they let me box?
Did you see it as a means to an end? And I don't mean necessarily a financial means to an end, but did you feel like there was something bigger that it could offer you?
What, my last fight, or?
No, just boxing in general.
It just was my passion, and I was just, it came to me easily. I was good at it. I could fight girls that other people would consider strong, and they wouldn't be strong to me. Or I've never been in a fight where I was completely outclassed. So I knew it was for me.
Yeah.
It just came to me naturally. I not enjoy anything you enjoyed, or I enjoyed it.
So let's talk about your video that you dropped. You were pretty candid in it recently. I will put a link to it. And you talked about, you know, your depression, what you've been going through recently. You've questioned, you know, whether you want to continue. And you also talked about how people kind of abandoned you. Was that after the loss, or was that to do with the depression, do you think?
A little bit of both. A lot of relationships have changed since that fight. And I'm the type of person, I just observe it, and I just go, You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's all. Just things change, and, you know, people move on. Everybody loves a winner.
100%.
If you want people to talk about you, win, because people don't talk about people that don't win. So, you know, that's how it go. But I've been here before, so like I said, I was 17-0, lost my first fight, went 2 years without a fight, came back, won a fight or two, then I ended up losing to Holly and Erica. I've been on both sides where I was here, there, down, up, you know, so I understand that people flock to you when you winning, when you on top, when you being talked about, and then when you were down, you know, you don't hear from people.
I choose to see it as my eyes have been widened to show me who people are.
To show you who really care about you. So you'll know what level the relationship is on. I'm okay with it. I don't be mad at people when they do that now, because at my age, I'm old enough now where it's like, well, that's life. But don't expect me to be the same when you come back.
Exactly.
Because I had to face this alone, like, by myself. And that's what it is. I don't expect nobody to, like, you know, cater to me or baby to me or nothing. But
I always feel like just keep that same energy that you had when you weren't supporting me. Keep that same energy. You understand?
Yeah, because it was like when I came back, the people in my city, I guess they had made bets on me, and then I didn't win the fight, and it was like a lot of, you know, junk talk there. So I had to deal with that.
I thought you were quite candid in your in your video, and I think it will help a lot of people. But do you? It was inspiring as well. It was positive as well as, you know, you were open, you were positive, and you were candid about how you are feeling at this moment in time. But do you think there's like still a stigma in the black community when you start talking about mental health issues?
Oh yeah, of course. They feel like, yo, you should be alright. It was just a fight. You lost a fight. Big deal. That's how some of them will feel. What is depression? I never knew what depression was. Like, honestly, like I've had deaths in my family, but I guess me understanding the root of that pain and knowing exactly where it came from, it wasn't depression. I think depression is when you're hurting and you sad and you can't really pinpoint the problem. And so it's hard to fix it when you can't pinpoint it. Yeah, the loss of the fight is contributed to it, but it's so many other things on top of it that contributed to me feeling the way I felt. And it was like the time and the effort that I put into it, the years I put into it. I think a lot of the depression came from, do I want to do that again?
Yes.
That's where it came from. Do I have the time? Do I have the passion still? Do I have it still to want to do that again? Because that took a lot. That's the depression too.
It's a painful place as well. And when you start to come out of it, even at that point where you know, people always go, oh, well, you look back and you see that you were strong enough to get through it. There's some part of your brain that recognizes it when it starts to creep back up on you, isn't it? And you think,
And you can
I'm not
see,
sure.
like, when you mentioned something to me earlier, it triggers something. It makes me still cry.
Yeah.
So that's depression. That's what I be trying to tell people. Like, they see my videos and my skits, and they say, "You so funny," and this that. I've been going through that a lot. That's why I don't talk about boxing, because I'll go through that often, and it'll be a time where a couple weeks will go by and I won't be bothered with it, but then something will happen and it'll hit me, and it'll just be like,
It's been your life. Do you understand? And so it's almost, I guess, like you're going through a sort of bereavement.
yeah,
In an effect.
right.
You talked about, you know, your skits and
Mm-hmm.
how, you know, great and fun, you know, these. Sorry, you forget you're on camera.
I know I'm on camera.
That's so funny. So yeah, so people talk. You talked about the little skits and you're so funny, and so. Do you think sometimes people don't expect a strong woman, and especially a strong black woman, to suffer from depression? It's almost like, well, you're supposed to be strong.
And I'm a boxer too. So that just double whams me. You see what I'm saying? Black, strong, boxer. You ain't depressed.
I have seen the videos of you sort of you look like you're getting back into training. They feel positive. They feel motivating. So there's somewhere, it says to me, that Mary might be making a comeback.
I am. I can't see it no other way. I just don't feel like I'm gonna be able to fight at 47. 40, not 4. I will fight at 47, but 140, I just can't do that.
I understand how you feel, but I also know that deep down, there's still that drive. There's still, you know, there's a lot more left for Mary McGee. And so with that, I would say, if you could map out the ideal next 6 months to a year, what would it look like?
Well, I want to go up to 147 or 154. I wouldn't mind fighting Jessica McCaskill or Natasha Jonas at 154. They world champions. It's a few other girls up there. I wouldn't mind fighting. I'll fight Sandy Ryan too. But she have 140, but I think she can make 47.
Yeah.
So I don't. I'm at the level where I can't pick easy fights. I mean, granted, I don't have a world title anymore, but I'm at that level, so I have to, you know, pick the fights that's on that level for me. Granted, I wouldn't be calling out Katie Taylor or Clarissa Shields and nobody like that right now. Hell, I just lost my last fight, so I'm going to pick at the level I believe I'm at right now.
I think you should be allowed to have, which happens in the males, in the male participants, where they are able to get a high level tune-up fight.
But ain't nobody, that's the thing, Jack. Ain't nobody trying to support me. Like, it ain't like Eddie Hearn said, hey, I did everything. I didn't hold the tournament up when they asked me to come. My knee was messed up, but I still said, hey, I'll fight. You feel me? I did everything I was supposed to do, but it's like, okay, we're done with you. I've seen them give, like, other people chances. Like, hell, I know she's their fighter, but, like, Terry Harper, she had got knocked out in her fight, and then they turned around and gave her a belt the very next fight. I didn't get knocked out. I helped save the show. Hell, Dillian got injured, and we put on a hell of a main event, but I get nothing. I don't even have a fight in sight, so it's like, what do y'all want me to do? Yeah, I'm training for me, but it's like I don't have a fight in sight right now. I don't know what's next for me in boxing, and I have to know this because I have somebody that's counting on me to take care of them. So that's why I've been like, it's like I want to come back and do all of that, but it's like I can't train in vain right now.
I hope that an opportunity opens itself up for you, Mary, because, you know, you did play your part. You were a great dance partner. You were great with the media. And, you know, you won a lot of fans in the UK. Yeah. And I hope that an opportunity opens up very, very soon. And I thank you so much for that, opening up and sharing your story, because there'll be lots of people going through the same thing as you. Yeah. And sometimes it's good just to hear someone else's story. So, yeah, thank you very much for that.
No problem.